Hi, it's Hazel and welcome to my channel, Hazel Anaka Design. Can I just tell you that there is nothing more frustrating than having to redo a video. I thought I had seen everything, but apparently you can tape a whole video, go to download it, and then find out that it said it was saving, and it appeared to be a 6-hour long video. So I tried several times, blah, blah, I'll save you, I'll spare the gory details. Then I started watching it, and at some point, I don't know what, at some point, it began kind of humming, vibrating, and not advancing. So delete, 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 and start all over again. This will, I'm sure, go faster because it usually does the second time around, because you realize you can leave some things out. Anyway, understand that when I make reference to videos and time and space and all of that, I really have no idea when you're watching this or even necessarily when I've scheduled the video to appear. This one, God willing and the creek don't rise, will be posted tonight, which is November 6th, and will be on my channel tomorrow morning as usual. And that's kind of significant, and I'll get into why. Anyway, at some point, I've announced that this saying, which I've been aware of for about 25 or 30 years, because I had a plastic sign to the same effect, is going to be my new opening or closing, or my new buzzword, my new byline, my new mantra. A creative mess is better than tidy idleness. So expect to hear more of this. I believe it drives what each of us is doing, and our belief system in that what we create is a heck of a lot more important than busy work like cleaning. Anyway, so that's one thing. The reason that it's important, I'm just trying to put this back in my sight line here. The reason that it's important that this video be uploaded and visible soon is because I also want to do a plug for my 500 plus subscriber giveaway. I said today's the 6th. This will air on the 7th. Midday on the 8th is when the deadline for entering. And I have been using this copper martini shaker or cocktail shaker to hold the entries. Now, I don't drink, so it's never had any booze in it. It may look suspiciously like an urn, but I can assure you that there are no ashes in there. So I just wanted to say, if you haven't already entered, by all means, please do so. Your odds of winning are really good. And it's easy enough. You just need to be Canadian or American. You need to be a subscriber. You need to have watch that particular announcement video, give it a thumbs up, comment, and include your favorite Hazelism. Now, I didn't realize that there are Hazelisms until one of my most faithful and supportive subscribers, Teresa, just in a random comment on a random video, listed a few of her favorites. I thought, hey, I never thought too much about it because I don't lie awake nights thinking of these things. It's just how I talk. It's what I believe, and it just comes out. I remember years ago I was on a board with a guy. He was older than I was, and he said, well, I believe in calling a spade a shovel. And I thought that was hilarious because, of course, the expression is call a spade a spade. Well, I'm a call a spade kind of girl. So I calls them as I see them. And anyway, I thought it would make an interesting twist for this giveaway. So, yes, if you haven't already done so, and you qualify, then hey, do yourself a favor and enter. I think it's a pretty darn good price. Okay, enough about that. Let's finally get to the business at hand. Goodness knows I have 6 prototypes to show you. In a recent video that you may or may not have seen, I opened a package of paper by Provocraft called Christmas Slab 3. I don't even know if Provocraft still exists. But on this sort of cover sheet, there were all these little sort of thumbnails showing what the different papers looked like. So I thought, like, they're 1.25 inches by 2.25 inches, roughly. And I thought, wouldn't these make great bases for clusters? Excuse me. So, and of course, they could also be dangles. But, you know, unless you're very, very new and haven't seen too many videos or done too much work yourself, a cluster can easily be turned into a dangle simply by punching a hole in. And I see that I've done it on this particular one, adding a bulb pin or something else so that it can hang off a page or a piece of lace or whatever in your journal. So this is kind of what I have left. Now, I will continue to work on these after the video, but I did want to share this idea with you because I thought that it was pretty clever. I think most paper packs have something similar to this, maybe not the same size or orientation. Maybe they've got text, you know, sort of ruining them, some of them, but that's fine. And it doesn't matter what you use as a base. You can use a book page. You can use, you know, scraps. Whoops. You can use, sorry about this throat, ledger, and so on. Anyway, so that's kind of what I have to work with. So in that bunch, there were 3 papers. So, I also, in the first take, showed what I've sort of surrounded myself with. I've got, excuse me, a bunch of Ranger archival inks, Mulberry Sepia, Fern Green, and Black at my disposal. I just picked one stamp, a selection of stamps, you know, because the stamps are fairly small and brand new, hasn't even been tried yet. I've got some stickers. What else? Yeah, stickers. I have paper scraps. Most of this is wrapping paper. I have some fibers and little bits of lace. I also, off screen here, have napkin pieces and this package of, well, I would say Kleenex, but we know that's a brand name. This tissue, let's actually see if it's even printed on all over. Yeah, cool. So this too could be separated. Oh, these are sweet. Could be separated like napkins and used in the same way. Does it say how many plies? No, it doesn't. Anyway, so there's that. This video will also be shorter because in this one I don't plan to use lose the pin from my art glitter glue, which sort of got me all discombobulated as I was looking to replace it. I didn't use any of these charms, but I have them all here, or little mini ornaments, I mean. Jingle bells. Could have, could do something with them as well. I also, just for the sake of a little less chaos here, oh, I didn't show you that I used, where's the third one? I did some button covers. There's a third one. Oh, here it is. Like, aren't those sweet? I won't be using them here because, of course, there's that shank that would make it a little bulky. All my Christmas stamps. So that is within reach, as well as my two sort of bundles of, or two rings of, what is this stuff? Washi tape. Oh, and I also found this brass stencil that I have of snowflakes. So I didn't do any stenciling when I did these prototypes. So what I did was lay out my 3 blue things, and I just set about adding some decorations to them. So I had some eyelet, added that, this graph paper, added it, some Christmas wrapping paper, and then a stamp, a button, a sticker, a fabric sticker, a seal, like from when you get those Christmas card things, you know, usually a charity sends them, trying to solicit donations, a sticker, and this lovely snowflake. So those 3 I had done. So then I thought, well, I've got time. I also, you may remember seeing this. Where did I put the bigger piece? Anyway, it was this this piece of embossed paper that the color was right, but the sentiment was wrong. It said happy birthday. And then I thought, well, so what? I can still use happy. I can use the presents. So I did these 3. So basically, this one I did horizontally. And we know that these can either be glued down to a page as a cluster. They could extend past the end of a page. Past the end of a page, like a tab, at the top of the page, you know, kind of whatever a person desires. So I used a bit of ribbon there, used some fabric here, a snowflake, a sticker, some lace. This eyelet, I found a 4th piece kicking around here, so I had to sort of grunge it up by using my my brown ink blending brush, and I used some of those embossed things. So that's what I have done. Thank you so much for joining me. Anyway, I will, just for the sake of, you know, showing as opposed to just telling, I will do a couple or 3 more, just because that was my intention, to do them all, get them used up, and know that that is that. So I have all of these. I don't know if we rounded them all up or not, but that's certainly enough to work on. So there are a lot of red ones. Maybe I should use some of these red backgrounds. I think with the color being as dark as it is, it might be nearly pointless to do any stamping on there. But maybe I could. There's something to use as a protective sheet. Maybe I could try a bit of stenciling just to see what happens. And, you know, it might not even be visible when all is said and done. I think it would have to be... Sorry, guys. Surely one of these is for black. Yeah. Now with that's mauve. I'm surprised you don't seem to have one for red. What the heck? Well, let's try the black and see what happens. Oh, I also have some bits of Scotch tape, because as I take it, I do collect this stuff in a pouch or something, but I also, if I could find something less busy to do this on. I also, what was I saying? Oh my God, I'm losing it. Oh, if I have just a few pieces, I don't just quickly jump up to go file. So I sort of just sits on the edge of my laptop for a while till I do something with it. So let's just see if this is going to show. Oh, that's kind of cute. Again, I'm sure we're all familiar with the dreaded black snowflakes. Yeah, I'm surprised. That looks pretty darn good. And as anyone who's ever collaged more than 5 minutes knows, there's a good chance that none of that will be visible, but that's okay. Oh, another thing that I have here, because I kind of want to use it up, is the remainder of these pages out of that one book that I took apart to do that, what was it? 2 envelopes, 5 pockets thing, idea. So again, maybe I won't do that right here in front of you because it might take a little more thinking than we have time for right now. Oh, another thing I wanted to say, as she pops a Werther's into her mouth, is that this evening, I've been approved as a seller on Angela, the Traveling Crafter's new initiative called Maker's Market. So there is sort of an online session today for new sellers to do some training. So that is what I have to do as well. So that's another built-in deadline to not keep on going on and on. Oh, you know what? I have some of this Christmas wrap that has black in the background. I could probably use some of this. Now, because I fussy cut around some of these things, some edges are, very sharp and distinct, and that typically isn't what I want in a collage. I was using, when I did this the first time around, I was using art glitter glue just because it's quicker. Oh, another thing I'm doing differently this time, I basically had my layout all figured out and then just did the gluing. So let me do a bit more inking. I'll do some on each of them. And then we're doing the most efficient we're using the most efficient approach to getting this done. And of course, with inking, it's always preferable if you have some of it bleeding off the edge of the page, because it creates the illusion that, oh, there's more where that came from. And it's more, shall we say, artsy-fartsy. And we know that that is our goal, because who doesn't want to be artsy fartsy? Cute. Cute, cute. These little brass stencils are really cute. And when a person is doing any sort of mobile crafting, they're tiny enough and compact enough that, you know, they don't create a problem. Okay, just for the heck of it, do I have a clean brush of any kind? That's a poor one, but anyway, let's try. I'm just wondering if this mulberry, since this really isn't like a Christmas red, how would the mulberry look on here? I guess it would have been smarter to put the lighter color over, down first. But hey, we never promised that we were smart. That's nice. Or at least I think so. So, you know, sort of these happy accidents sometimes, just by getting on with it and creating. It's adding a depth to and a little more interest to each of these things. Cool. Glad I tried that. Okay, whoops. Okay, so we have that. Now I could, let's see what else we have here that might work. I could isolate, like leave out the green. And, you know, just focus on this sort of more maroony color. The white serves to brighten it up also. Do I have? Okay, there's another one there. Do I have any smaller pieces? I hope that you are, well, I hope that you are crafting your little hearts out. Maybe I should, that's such a definite fold mark there. Maybe I should have that closer to the edge of the paper, and then I hope that if you're enjoying the content I'm creating and or my delivery of the content I'm creating, that you choose to subscribe. It's free. It's easy. And it encourages me to carry on. Probably don't really want to introduce any green here. So I'll stick with this. And of course, liking and subscribing and all that jazz as well. Oh, I think what I did on the others more definitely was extend the design past the edge of the bottom paper, because I could also use these trees off here. Because it makes them, it makes for a more interesting arrangement, as well as it makes it larger. Because, I said the size is quite small, but by having it extend beyond the edge of the thing, it becomes maybe more versatile, has more possibilities in however you choose to use it. And of course, clusters can be used on any page that maybe you don't want to get it overly decorated. You just want to, basically have it as writing space, but you want to, primp it up a bit. So that's one good way to do that. You can have it as a dangle. You can have it, as I showed you, as a tab. If it extends beyond the edge. Oh, I have this too. If it extends beyond the edge of a page, now because I didn't really know what I was going to do, I didn't really pick out anything as focal points. I've used buttons, I've used stamps, postage stamps. Maybe before I go too much further with that, I should also have this red lace, but maybe not this time. Can I tear this? Ugh. Yes, I can. Maybe not that successfully, but hey, I did it. I also could be looking at some of the washi. Now, some of this, sometimes when you buy a set, you get these that are almost invisible. They're so narrow. That's not much use to anybody, frankly. But never say never. That doesn't mean we can't use it. Well, I should glue down. I'll use that little striped one, I think. So I'm basically just using art glitter glue simply because it's reliable, and these things are really small. They don't take a lot of glue, especially if it never comes out of the bottle. So all that careful placement has gone out the window. Maybe I should do that more from an angle. It'll be more visible. I performed a small wedding in a house this afternoon and just got home in time to redo the video. So it's one of those deals where they're doing a destination wedding but want to make sure that you know, that it's actually legally binding. You know, that there is no issue with language or how do you even put glue on something this narrow? Honestly. Oh, I know another thing that I talked about in the previous video. This is my third video of the day, of course, two doing the same subject, but in the first one, it was a thrifting video, and I did a little bit of a rant, and at some point you'll hear it and maybe agree or maybe wonder why I'm complaining. In the first take of this video, I had something else to complain about. And that was the idea that a lot of us have the Epson EcoTank printers and are really happy with them and pleased with how far the ink goes and so on. My original printer, I still have it, still use it occasionally, is an HP. And I've always been able to buy replacement ink cartridges, the extra large, at Costco. And we know that bulk buying and their buying power and so on, that the prices are attractive, certainly more so than if you just went into a stationery store. So we got an error message. Sorry, an error message one day. Can't even remember what it was complaining about. It was either the black or the color cartridges. And so the last two times I've been at Costco, I tried to get replacements. Maybe I'll let this guy leak down, and then I'll use that to hold that ribbon down. Anyway, I was there the other day, and I took the time to talk to a guy in computers, and I said, you know, your replacement ink section is getting very small. I said, is that because everyone's switching to EcoTanks, or what's the deal? He says, well, that's part of it, for sure. He says, and then the other part, it's pretty, you know, out of the mouths of babes. He says, there isn't a very good profit margin in those ink cartridges anymore. I thought, oh, well, isn't that something? You know, like, forget about a service to the public. We're all about the bottom line. I know, that's what business is about. But I was still disappointed. Anyway, I said, you know, I Googled whether a 952 XL, which is what you guys have on the shelf, is interchangeable with a 951 XL, which is what I need. I says, and of course it isn't. I said, so now what? Am I supposed to turn that printer into a doorstop or what? He says, or maybe a paperweight. Like it even has paper. I thought, oh, aren't you witty? I always like playing with retailers. Anyway, I said, well, okay, fine. I'll figure out what to do about that. He says, you could try Staples, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know, I realize you're not in charge of the world. However, could you not tell, you know, like maybe in the suggestion box, or if a sales rep ever comes around, or whatever, feedback works its way to headquarters, that it would be really good Mr. and Mrs. Epson if they packaged their larger black ink bottles separately from a 3-pack of colored ink. Because if you're anything like me, you're running out of the colored ink, because that's what we're using for our printing purposes, and gallons, I'm exaggerating, gallons of the black ink are accumulating. But because they're packaged, 4 to a set, you have no choice but keep buying them that way. So I don't know. Are you with me or are you against me? It seems to me that, I don't know, should we start a letter writing campaign? Or am I the only one that's annoyed by this? I'm not so enamored with how these are turning out, to be honest. Maybe I missed the boat when maybe I lost my footing here by having to redo the video. Broke the momentum. Ruined the stride. So these are actually, mini collages. Now, even though I'm acting like I stole this black lace, I do have a lot more of it. I don't know why I'm skimping, other than those pieces that had been pre-cut already. Anyway, so that was my complaint of the day. Years ago, I went through a process called Colorful Personalities. And basically, and I know that they're different, everybody has their own proprietary take on some of these same concepts. It's basically saying that all of us can be divided into categories, in this case color-based, because of how we see things and handle things, and that it's useful in an office setting or in a retail setting or any time when you're dealing with people to oh, here's a bit of black ribbon just kicking around. Maybe I should make a bow. Maybe I should add a stamp. Anyway, so I remember it was in a group setting. This was back when workshops and so on were actually in hotel ballrooms, and you sat there and you sat with people you didn't know, and you ate lunch, and you networked and you interacted and stuff like that. Anyway, so the guy George gives us this maybe a bit of this music would be all right. I also have music paper. He gives us this questionnaire to fill out. I don't remember how many things there were, how many different questions, but basically, you pick a variety of answers. And he comes around, is making his rounds around the room. How's everybody doing? Are they having any problems? Blah, blah. I said, I think I could have multiple personality disorder. I said, because it seems like my score, because you had to total up the columns, how many of, each of these 4 things. I said, it seems like my 4 categories are pretty evenly distributed. He says, no, that means you're a well-adjusted, a well-balanced person. I thought, ooh. Anyway. So the bottom line is, one of my most predominant colors is green. And green people tend to be analytical and observant And we can also be perceived as pretty critical, but we come to that from a position of wanting to make things better. So for instance, if say there's maybe you're at a grocery store and all the the lineups are so long and people are getting annoyed and whatever, it'll be the green people in the place that'll be thinking, well, why don't they? That's literally what I and others like me say. Well, why don't they? Because we see a potential solution. We see a way to improve. We see a different way to approach things. And why did I start telling you this? Oh, well, I guess that was the sort of explaining why I would even waste my time talking to some lowly computer guy at Costco when he's powerless, as am I. But yeah, that's the kind of scenarios I find myself in. Well, why don't they? And I think that's good for the most part if it's well received and maybe acted upon. The downside of that is I apply the same analysis and criticism to my own behavior, which, as we know, can be very unhealthy and very kind of destructive, in fact, because if you let the criticism and the negative self-talk bog you down, then that's not a good thing. If it causes one to change and improve something and try something that works, more effectively, well then, hey, win-win. But yeah, so anyway. That's what I've got to say today. This was kind of a bit of a... Let's mess this up a bit. This one is a little too regular. Oh, no, it's too short. Anyway, I'm not sure, to be honest, if these guys are complete. Now it seems like that white is just jumping out at me. What would happen might be an error in judgment. But what would happen if I grade that back a bit? This one, it should be good because it'll tie in with that gray. I suppose I could also look at my little red buttons. I also want to see how long we've been at this. So this video is definitely going to be shorter. Come on. Some of these red buttons are very big. That one sure sticks up. I could use a white one, I suppose, if I can find one. Can you believe I might not have enough buttons? I might have to run out there and buy some. This seems a bit on the big side maybe, but that's not the greatest color, is it? These are... That's another shank button. What the heck is on there? That needs to be cleaned. Okay, let's put a littler guy there and a bigger guy there. Oh, I haven't been using that crappy little washi tape. Maybe let's not introduce polka dots. Glue gun, glue stick. Get more on my fingers than on the washi. I guess that adds another layer. I just have to use 12 miles of this, and then that little spool will be gone. I feel kind of rushed, to be honest. I want to get this video done and uploading. I want to have a couple of minutes to gather my wits before the Maker's Market thingamajig. Okay, they all have a piece, so that's good enough, I would say. Oh, I should be laying this guy down. I wonder if I should just put a little smidge. That's probably too much on that one. Maybe that's not my best idea ever. Oh, I still need a button for this last guy. And I don't really have any black ones here either. That's green. And my buttons, of course, are across the room. I feel like taking my wire cutters, my bigger pair, and just attempt to break this off. Whoa! Well, that worked like a hot damn. So that's better. Okay, I can put that guy there. Now it's a little uneven, but once it's glued down, no one will ever know. Goodness gracious. Just applying a little pressure, you know, as though it was bleeding. Hey, I have a bit of this. Why don't I cut this in half and use... Let's put this heart one on. So you have your work cut out for you. If you haven't entered the contest, I would ask that you do that. If you have, or if you're in need of snippets, no, clusters, do that. If you are, what else could you be? What other assignment could I give you? Maybe I should use another one of those little flowery things. I don't have my safety glasses on. So where did the button go? Ah, dear, 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 dear. Well, that's going to be difficult to use since I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. I'm just going to use a little puddle of Fabri-Tac there, rather than pull out the art glitter glue. Okay, those guys are drying. Now this one probably needs that. And of course, I'm using this gauzy stuff, this, you know, chiffon-y type stuff. But if, you know, a person, if they wanted it to be more, more rustic looking or whatever, could use a cheesecloth or something like that, if the colors worked. So the purpose of this video, I think most people have done clusters before, is basically to draw your attention to all the possibilities. Fabric, paper, trim, buttons, postage stamps, are those the big categories? Stickers, napkins, what else? And of course, if you choose to turn them into dangles, just making a teeny tiny hole with something like that, or even, I mean, it's just paper. You could even use an oversized needle or your awl or whatever. Can turn any of these into dangles as well. With a bulb pin, can add some beads, can add a jingle bell, and I might still pull out a jingle bell and do some of those that way. So again, because I don't edit and I can't pause, and sometimes I can't even make a video, the best way to see what I've actually ended up with, because, you know, the work always continues after you're gone, the best way to see that is to follow me on Instagram, because typically I try to post a photo of you know, completed projects. So anyway, I'm calling this done. And if you're entering the contest, good luck to you. And geez, it's almost time for the meeting to start. Okay, thanks guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.